Hey guys, welcome to the True Blue Riffcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Dave. My name is Christine DeBelle, but many of you know me as Susan from A Talking Cat. And as you know, I have to go and get my cheese puffs out of the oven. So have a great time with Jeremy and Dave. See you soon.
Thanks, Christine. This is the True Blue Riffcast, the #1 RiffTrax podcast in the world.
Welcome back from the edit, everybody. We're getting started.
I'm Jeremy, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, everybody. I'm Dave. Wow, it's starting early this time.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what's okay, because today is a very special day for us. Because not only are we going to be talking about The Wizard, the winner of our last Patron Poll, but the day that we almost thought would never come has arrived, and Light Blast has been riffed, and we get to talk about it, finally.
Yes. Listeners of this podcast may know we've referenced Light Blast. I don't know if we've talked about it in depth, but we've definitely referenced Light Blast quite a bit. And it's
especially last week.
It's probably one of those movies where we're talking about like it's Haunted Ween or something, where we're like, Google it, right? Because we're not gonna fill up this podcast that much. We used to. Maybe we should start doing that again with a lot of non-RiffTrax related content. I was thinking about that because we used to do our Mandalorian review. We used to talk about all kinds of stuff that wasn't related to RiffTrax. I'm thinking maybe we should start that back up. But our main focus is RiffTrax. But before we get into that, let's talk about the weekend box office.
Do we have to? There's not really much to talk about, Dave.
I think it's interesting. The #1 movie this week again is Relic. From IFC Films, whatever that is.
Yeah.
#2 is Archive. #3 was Followed. #4 is The Wretched. And #5 is Becky. #6, Human Capital. #7, The Truth. #8, Guest Artist. #9, The Last Tree. And #10, Wonder Woman. Oh no, wait, I'm wrong. #10 was The Painted Bird. And
I've heard of absolutely zero of those movies.
Guess how much the #10 movie in America grossed over the weekend, over July 17th through 19th?
$250.
You lowballed it. It grossed $452.
Wow, that's not a lot.
People make more than that on Patreon. Not us.
Not us.
People.
But that's okay, because we don't do this for the money. We do it because
we sure
love
don't.
RiffTrax.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're not doing it for the money.
Yeah, because if we did, we'd be broke.
Wait a minute. You're not?
That is, in the words of Hannibal Lecter, no, that is incidental.
Yes. Speaking of Patreon, though, our last poll was between Dinosaurus and The Wizard. As we mentioned, The Wizard is the winner.
Oh, I can't imagine.
We are going to start things off talking about that today.
Such a great riff.
Now, The Wizard, for those of you who have never seen the movie, riff or no riff, it was starring a huge star at the time, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
And some guy named Fred Savage. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay, so the joke here. No, the joke is that there's this guy named Fred Savage who was on this crazy popular television show that has also since been forgotten, called The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
He was a big star. He was also in The Princess Bride. And hashtag remake The Princess Bride, you cowards.
They did, but it's on Quibi.
It's on Quibi.
Yes. I'm not even joking about that.
Are you serious? There's a remake of The Princess Bride on Quibi?
Kind of. They did it as like a fundraiser thing, and it's a bunch of these big Hollywood names, and they all filmed little snippets of the movie, and they did. It's called like the home movie version or whatever. It's really funny. Like there's a scene where Paul Rudd is playing Wesley, and going through the whole monologue about To the Pain, and Carrie Elways plays Prince Humperdinck in that scene.
That's weird.
Rob Reiner shows up, and he was the director of the movie. There's just all these people, and it looks kind of funny. Of course, again, the problem is it's on Quibi, and nobody's going to watch it because who the hell uses Quibi?
Yeah, why? It's like, why would anybody? That's like putting a whole movie on TikTok. Okay, no one's gonna do it. Yeah, but
at least it's free on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh wait, wait. See, this is how not into it with Quibi I am. Do you have to pay for Quibi?
Yeah, it's a monthly subscription.
No thanks. I already have to pay for Netflix and that I don't even like, and Disney Plus, which I really just use to watch The Simpsons anymore. But anyway, Fred Savage was I don't know if you would really call him a child star, but he was definitely a preteen. He was big. He was big time. And this movie basically killed his career, I think. I mean, I've seen him in one other thing besides the Wonder Years, Princess Bride, and The Wizard, and that was the third and worst Austin Powers movie.
This also has a cameo, I guess you can call it that, of Spider-Man, aka Tobey Maguire.
Oh, that's right. This was Tobey Maguire. That's a big. I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know if you'd call it an Easter egg, but it's you go in there and there's like all the video game bullies.
Yeah.
Like okay, look, in 1989, that's absurd. Okay, if you played video games in 1989, you were the one that got beat up. If you're going around, putting on the Power Glove, the famous line, "It's so rad," or "It's so bad," or whatever.
It's so bad, yeah.
Yeah. It's a controller that you have to put on your arm,
and it was terrible. It was actually bad,
and you have to use it because I don't know why anybody. We'll talk about the Power Glove, and then we'll get back to Tobey Maguire. You put it on your. I guess you'd have to put it on your right hand. And it had all the controls there on the wrist. And you can't use the controller the way it was designed or play the game the way it was designed because you basically have to use your left hand to hit all the controls with the fingers that weren't intended to be used because the controller was designed to be held by two hands. So you could use it with your thumb like a human being or a monkey. Not like some kind of weird spider person or an octopus trying to play a video game.
Yeah.
But
it was bad.
Anyway, so Tobey Maguire is one of these absurd video game nerds. I guess they're playing Tetris or Double Dragon. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. But Battletoads is mentioned in the movie at some point, so maybe we'll say that. And playing Battletoads with the Power Glove is especially absurd.
Yes. Playing anything with the Power Glove was absurd because it was terrible. It didn't work like it was supposed to. Like, you had to put sensors up on the corners of your TV. It just
like the Nintendo
was weird
Wii.
And not good. Yeah, but yeah, Tobey Maguire was his first role in a movie. He was uncredited, just as one of Lucas's goons.
Yeah.
And
name one other movie that Tobey Maguire's been in other than Spider-Man and the Wizard. That took too long. Can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't he in Cider House Rules or something? That's the only one
I don't know. My point is that he was Spider-Man, and that's it.
That's all anybody knows him as.
So yeah.
Yeah. So his career went well.
Yeah, he played himself in Ocean's 11, I think. Or no, that was Topher Grace. What am I thinking?
Yes,
see,
who was also in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
In the worst Spider-Man movie. But enough about Spider-Man. Let's get talking back
About
about some
the
Nintendo.
wizard, yes.
Yes. So
The movie,
this
yeah.
movie is about a prodigy, I guess, if you want to call him
Now,
that.
is he okay? So I was reading on Wikipedia because I didn't want to watch the movie again because screw that. I've seen it enough times in my life. This came out in 2015. Watched it 3 or 4 times. I remember a lot of it. So the movie starts off and like this kid is walking down the road, and all he can say is California, right? Because his sister's dead. Fun. And so the
his twin sister.
Yeah. Highway Patrol tracks him down. He's got this lunchbox with him. Highway Patrol tracks him down. And it'd be like, hey, how'd you get out here so far? You must have terrible parents. Let me take you back to them. So he goes back and takes him back, I think, to his mom. And Fred Savage is there as well, with also with Christian Slater. And they're like, oh, we can't keep losing this kid.
Let's put him in a mental institution.
Yeah. At some point, they find out that he's gifted. Like, at first you think the kid is I don't know what the nice way to say this is. He's
autistic?
Yeah, in some way. But no, it turns out he's just like years still suffering from PTSD because his sister died. But but in addition to that, he's also a video game prodigy. Is it prodigy or prodigy?
Prodigy, yeah. I almost said it wrong.
Okay. Yeah. It's a nuclear submarine. Nuclear. But so anyway, they find out, be like, oh well, we've got to go away to this competition, Video Armageddon in California, at
Universal Studios.
Yeah, at this really weird con, right? So anyway, along the way they meet Miss Obnoxious.
Oh God, Haley.
And she accuses a man of molestation, which is hilarious.
Isn't that like the bounty hunter that they hired to track Jimmy down?
Yeah, to find the kid, be like, oh no, like this man is doing something awful, trying to find these runaway children and take them back to their lawful guardians.
Yeah,
and I think they're in not a casino, but they're in like some diner or something.
Well,
and it's like the one thing.
Don't they like go to? Aren't they in like Reno or something?
Yeah, no. Well, they start off in Green River, Utah, which, by the way, is a dump, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever go there. So they got to go from Green River down there in eastern Utah. It's by Colorado. And I guess they got to get it all the way across to Nevada and then to California.
Yep.
And they're in one of their stops because they get off and they have adventures because they're spunky kids playing video games. And at one point, the bounty hunter is there and he's like, oh, I got you guys, right? And Haley goes, it's like the one thing I remember from the movie, other than Super Mario Brothers 3 and Fred Savage and the Power Glove, is this I guess she's like 14 or something. She has to be. She has to be a little bit older, but like not that old.
Yeah, she's a young teenager.
And yeah, across the room from a man who's not even near her, like, he touched my breasts, right? Okay, number one, why is that funny? That's not funny.
No.
Number two, that's not a thing you teach little girls to do. All problem, all bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like, you remember the scene in Deadly Prey where wife,
yeah,
like, he raped me. It's like that.
Yeah. It's very much like that.
It's so uncomfortable because you just want to be like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
But anyway, so they get to California, and curtain comes up, and it's Super Mario Brothers 3. Because at the time, I guess Mario 3 had been out in Japan for a while, for like a year or something, and it wouldn't be released in North America until 1990. You didn't have the internet back then, so images from Super Mario Brothers 3 was just like, oh my gosh, it was like peering into the future or some crap like that. Because
that was the only way that, the only reason that people wanted to go see that movie. Like, that was the only reason I was interested in it. Ooh, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, because
sweet.
it was
That's
gonna
what I wanna
see. Yeah, it was gonna you're gonna see brief snippets of Super Mario Brothers 3. You got to see the title screen. You got to see World 1-1. And it showed you how to get the warp whistle too, I think. And it flew you to the warp zone.
Yeah, and they totally misrepresented how the warp whistle worked too. I remember that.
But the thing is, it doesn't accurately represent the gameplay or like what the goals in gameplay of Super Mario Brothers 3 are. The goal is to get to the end of it's to get to the end of the level to get the card and move on and clear the game. All that stuff, right? Like for me in Super Mario Bros., the goal is to not get killed. Okay? Yes. I mean that's ultimately the goal. And of course to get to Bowser's castle at the end and save the princess, and everyone's cool and fine. The movie, like a lot of video game movies made by people who don't really understand video games, or at least the games that they are playing within the movie themselves, is that they focus a lot on points. Jeremy, how much Mario have you played in your life?
A lot.
A lot. Okay.
A lot.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever once in your entire life cared about what your score is in any Mario game you've played?
Nope.
I couldn't I know it's there, and I know that like if you there's a trick, there's a famous mechanism in Mario where if you jump on enough enemies without touching the ground, the points will double each time, and once you get to a certain point, it's just nothing but one-ups. Okay, yeah. That's a famous gameplay mechanism in Super Mario Brothers. But the thing is, you don't care about those points. Like that's the only time I really even pay attention to like how many points I'm getting is to get to the one-up part.
Yeah,
that's only just for like that little time. But I don't ever look down. In the Wizard, it's like, oh, he's got so many points. He's the Wizard, right?
Yeah.
It's like no one cares. No one cares. I guarantee you, not one Mario player do you know what it is now? Like the hardcore weirdos that play Mario.
Yeah, like
now?
the speed running and
it's not about points. But
no.
Anyway. So they win. Their parents come and be like, "Oh, we love you. Let's be a family again," or some crap. And they're driving home, and they're like, "California, California, California." It's like, we're in California, you idiot, right? But no, it's some park that they visited with their dead child.
Yeah, with the big dinosaurs.
Yeah, with the big dinosaur, right?
If you don't know what we're talking about with the big dinosaurs, I'm sure you've probably at least seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's those dinosaurs.
It's that. Yeah, it's those dinosaurs. So he goes and he gets in one of these big dinosaur displays, and that stupid-ass lunchbox he's been carrying around the whole movie, he opens it, and it's a picture of them as the happy family at the dinosaur park.
Yeah.
And it's like, not one person remembered this. And it's like, well, maybe we should be a family again. Guess what? You can't be a family again because you're divorced and one of your kids is dead. So I don't know what the big deal is, but anyway, and that's the end of the movie.
One interesting little factoid about the movie, to kind of, it's related to RiffTrax, but there's a truck driver in the movie that Haley is friends with.
Never explained.
And he is driving the same truck that was used in Over the Top.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an amazing fact.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I thought you were going to say it was the same truck that was in Riding with Death. Hi-oh. Wouldn't that be great? Oh no, wait, didn't they blow No, they didn't blow that truck up. Oh no, they did. I'm trying to remember. My patent papers are in a million pieces, Sam. What's going on?
It's, a lot of people, this was one of those movies that when it was released, I remember seeing people that were like, why are they doing this movie? That was a good movie. Like, I remember watching this movie when I was a kid and I loved it.
What? Who said that? What liars said this?
People on Twitter and stuff, the cancer.
Why they do?
But yeah, it's not a good movie, guys.
No, it's not. It's pretty terrible. It destroyed. There's a scene in it where Fred Savage, who looks really younger than he ought, but he's both old and young at the same time. But he's got on a pair of sunglasses and I think a Hawaiian shirt, and he's going around like flashing his cash, and it's the most cringe thing. And I kind of feel like, was that a commentary on Fred Savage's status at that time?
It could have been. It very well could have been.
But
very good riff. It's
yeah,
one of my
I remember
favorites.
when it came out in 2015. It's one of those hotly anticipated ones. Sadly, it was drowned out by the announcement of the MST3K revival.
Oh, Dave, are you okay?
I'm sorry. I just had to. Yeah, I just had to. I had a coughing fit, and I had to fake a coughing fit to keep myself from barfing by bringing up the MST3K revival.
But enough about that. Go buy The Wizard. It's the $9.99 on RiffTrax. You can own it forever. I would say with this, you could also get the Super Mario Brothers movie, because I think those two movies kind of go. Yeah, I think those two movies kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, and they're both terrible, but in completely different ways. I will say this: The Wizard has far less screaming than the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Daisy, Luigi, Jack, Rose.
Oh,
Mariposa,
Cerebro, Magneto.
Run away. We're just gonna go through all the things now.
Yeah. Oh, all right. That's.
But anyway, don't we have something? Don't we have something else to talk about?
We have something else definitely to talk about. The 1985. I guess science fiction action film Light Blast, starring the one and only Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada. Oh, I'd like to point out that I have been in a movie with Eric Estrada. That's not a joke. It's real. I have been in a movie. It was a movie called I don't even remember the name of it. It was a movie called Templar Nation. Check it out. I am in that movie, and it does star Eric Estrada.
Nice.
RiffTrax. Anyway,
yeah,
Light Blast.
Let's really bring Dave into the RiffTrax canon. So yeah, Light Blast. I have to read this. I have to read the plot summary from Wikipedia because it's amazing. Just love how it's worded.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
In San Francisco, two teenagers playing hide and seek among the cars at an abandoned railway depot exchange affection. A white van arrives in the vicinity of the store and points a gun toward a large LCD clock. The teens have sex, the cannon fires all around, catches fire, and melts. Then Dr. Yuri Svoboda, a former professor in University of San Francisco, menaced the municipality of the town with his laser ray if he is not given $5 million. Now, you'll notice that the English is a little broken in that. Light Blast, for those of you who don't know, was an Italian film that was
some reason.
filmed in San Francisco. And as Dave mentioned to me in a text while he was watching it with the RiffTrax, because it had been a while since either of us had seen it, but he told me how ugly the movie was. And
movie is super ugly.
Kevin actually brings that up in the newest Talkin' RiffTrax on the RiffTrax Patreon, patreon.com/RiffTrax. And he talks about how they chose the ugliest parts of San Francisco to film the movie in.
Yeah, it's worse than what's that movie? East Meets Watts or something. There's a movie that in San Francisco that is famously super ugly.
Yes,
but this movie is horrible looking. Like you would not know that it was shot in San Francisco. In fact, I would dare say that it was that parts of it. Like, especially the parts at the racetrack, I don't like it, no.
Yeah, that was not San Francisco.
Obviously. And we'll get to that racetrack soon enough.
Yeah,
but and also the clock. Yeah, but no. Hey, before we talk about the movie,
yes.
Well, no. Before we talk about the movie, let's talk about our history, yours and mine, and about how we might be responsible for them riffing this, even though it's been like 3 years.
We found the movie. We watched the movie. We both had the same incredible reactions to parts of the movie, and we sent it to RiffTrax. It got submitted on the ideas page,
basically, yeah.
And I sent the trailer to Connor, and I actually asked him a question about it. He did a Ask Me Anything on Reddit. When his, I think it was for when Pole Vault came out, and I asked him about Light Blast, and he said that it was in the queue. They were definitely going to do it. It was in the queue, but that was like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah, that was a while ago,
and kind of lost hope a little bit. You know, I'm like, well, it's been a long time. Whatever, they're probably not going to do it. That's fine. And then. Last week, or the last release before this, Vengeance of the Dead, there was, of course, the riff about
reference to Light Blast.
Hey guys, I wonder if this is the same school bus Eric Estrada drove in Light Blast.
I'm sure everyone is wondering that.
And so that kind of got us thinking a little bit, well, they've at least watched the film now. We know that.
Yeah, they know about it, yeah.
And it's kind of really obscure to throw a riff in, you know, about a movie that nobody's heard of.
That's kind of like when I knew that the riff of Light Blast was imminent. I just didn't think we'd get it this week.
No, not the week after. Like, yeah. I saw the post that Jason Martin made in the True Blue RiffTrax fans Facebook group, and I just saw he made a post, and I clicked on it, and I saw the poster of Light Blast, and guys,
and you lost your mind.
I lost my mind. It was like the rare moment of surprise and unfettered joy that you don't get very much these days. Like, I seriously, I made this weird squeal, like inhale squeal noise, and my wife kind of looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, they did Light Blast. They did Light Blast. And I immediately ran to my computer and I bought it. I sent a message to you through Facebook.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, they did Light Blast. And I was like, and I just played it off.
I'm like, Light Blast. And
I just played it off like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, for the record, everybody, I just want everybody to know that I'm the one that found it, so you're welcome. All me, even though Jeremy is the one that submitted it to ideas.rifftrax.com. Did you get an email for that? Because I did.
Yes, I did. That it was riffed, and I got my votes back.
I was like, I already got it, big guy, and you're welcome. But you're my favorite customer. I better be. Have you ever said that? Like when you buy something on RiffTrax and like that thank you screen comes up and it says, thanks, you're our favorite customer. Sometimes, probably a lot. I say, I better be.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about the movie.
Okay, so the little plot summary is basically the first scene of the movie.
Yeah,
This couple in a train yard, and they get melted by
one of them has
the
breasts,
light
but not
blaster.
for long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they definitely remind you that she does. They show it a few times. But yeah, they get melted. I don't know if the doctor knew that they were there, or if he was just testing it because there was the big clock there. Because the cannon, the death ray, only works if you shoot it at a liquid crystal display.
Why didn't they? Okay, here's one thing about the riff that I'm okay. Look, I wasn't disappointed with the riff. Okay, I want to put that out right there. But there was one thing that I felt was kind of ignored. No one brought up how weird these clocks are. And to me, that's like one of the biggest things about Light Blast. They'll have the displays on these clocks. It's like they're written like in Hebrew. It's like it's the wrong way. It's like AM 1049 or whatever. No one brought it up. I thought it was weird, but whatever. Life goes on. But enough of my actually kind of business. But so they shoot these clocks, and that causes a lot of stuff to melt down. Okay, go ahead and continue. I just wanted to bring that up. I just wanted to bring that up about the clocks.
And then
that the clocks are super weird.
The very next scene is inside of a bank where these guys are robbing the bank. And
also being super creepy with girls in skirts.
Yeah, super creepy. One guy lifts up somebody's skirt with his shotgun or whatever.
With his gun, yeah.
Yeah, and the cops call into him and tell him to send somebody out. As you know, send the hostages out, and so they send out one of the cops or the security guards. I mean,
they kill the cop,
and
that's like the dumbest thing you can do.
They shoot him as he's walking out of the bank, and the best part
like
about this is there's a guy watching it, in the crowd, and he just goes, "Oh no, they shot him!" And it's just you can hear it very clearly. It's very funny, but they want to know where their food is, and so here comes Eric Estrada in nothing but a Speedo. Yeah. He does have a Speedo on. They asked him to send him in naked, but he does have a Speedo on, thankfully. And he's carrying a silver platter with a full
with a turkey
on it,
yeah,
and French fries laid out around it.
The turkey has a gun, yeah, and the turkey has a gun in it.
Yeah, and the one robber comes out to meet him at the door, and Estrada pushes the barrel of the gun through the end of the turkey and shoots the guy in the forehead.
Yeah,
the barrel pops out. It's actually kind of disturbing, but
yeah. But here's the thing: how would you? Yeah, so his hand would have to be up through the platter into the turkey with his finger on the trigger the whole time. What?
Well, he was carrying the tray with two hands. When he got in there, the guy said that he needed to taste it to make sure it wasn't poisoned or something. So he reaches up to it like he's gonna grab a bite, but instead he sticks his hand in.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. Okay, yeah. The point is, it's stupid.
That's very stupid.
Okay, it could not happen.
And he kills that guy, shoots him in the head, and then he takes his shotgun and gets the other guy. He goes home. We see his fiance. There is a scene where the two of them are sitting together. Oh no, it is later because it's after the Speedway scene when they're talking about it on the news. Yeah. And she's wearing a shirt with their faces both printed on it, like people used to do.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? It was 1980. It was 1985. It was 1985.
That's the reason for it, is 1985. But the doctor, after he makes his demand of $5 million, he does another demonstration and he goes to a racetrack and he melts a few people there. But the racetrack,
We have to talk about this.
we have to talk about the racetrack, Dave.
We have to. Okay, so when we first saw this, when we first saw this movie, number one, the print we saw was terrible. It was on YouTube. Okay,
Yeah, it was like an old VHS rip.
It looked even worse. But you could tell, like, I got mad, like, because it's even hard to articulate, because you cut to the crowd and you cut to the race and you cut outside. Like, none of these pieces fit.
Yeah, none of them are in the same place at all.
Like the establishing shot. Yeah, it's like meanwhile, at clearly not that racetrack, because, like, okay, you cut to the cars, and the cars are clearly, like, from some different decade. And then you cut to the outside of the race, which doesn't match, like, the stadium. Like, they went to, like, I think for the crowd, they went to, like, some high school or something.
Yeah,
And
it almost looked like
told people to
the stands at a football field, like a high school football field.
Yeah, but and also, like, be like, oh no, the panic scene.
Yeah.
Okay, when people panic for real, they're trying to get to safety. They're not trying to obviously intentionally injure themselves. When they have, like, a lot of space, be like for like a panicky crowd, there's no reason for these people to be jumping over the rails of these stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like, it looks ridiculous. You could tell, like, the director said, okay, I want you guys to panic and then throw yourselves over the banisters and over the rails. Like, and the stunt people, I'm hoping that they were stunt people. They're like, oh, we don't care. And it's like they just throw themselves as hard as, like, maybe not as hard, but
yeah,
they throw themselves full force off of, like, you know, it's bad.
It's very bad. Speaking of the stuntmen, you can tell that that some of these people were hurt during the filming of this movie.
Oh no! Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, according to Jason, 8 stuntmen were seriously injured while making this movie because of the lax safety precautions that they were taking. There are a few scenes that I mean, even the guys mentioned this in the riff about how, oh yeah, this movie definitely killed people. Yeah. Like, there's one guy who gets he's on a motorcycle, and the two cars sandwich the motorcycle, and then they all explode, and the guy just, like, rolls off and onto the floor, and it's just like
yeah, like he just barely escaped death.
Yeah, it's
remember there was a scene in it kind of reminds me of a little movie called Wonder Women.
Oh yeah,
that chase through Manila, where it seemed like it was going on forever, and there were a few points during that chase where you could tell that, like, some of the stuff was real. That's what this felt like.
Yes, they definitely felt like real accidents.
But it was just like the whole way through. Like, the crash in The Visitor. It looked like that, but for real. You know, it's like, The Visitor was amazingly this big Hollywood production, and had it wasn't an Italian B movie.
No.
It kind of feels like that, only, like, if that car wreck happened for real.
Yeah, it's it wasn't good. It wasn't good for those some people at all. But there's a lot of car chases in this movie. A lot of randomly exploding vehicles.
And none of it means anything.
There's an apparently flying dune buggy. because he miraculously jumps it over 2 cars, and he doesn't even have the turbo button like Kit had in Knight Rider. And he's doing this to chase down the bad guy because he killed his fiance and the doofy looking.
That was unnecessary.
Detective. Yeah, it was very unnecessary. And so he's chasing him down. He's trying to catch up with him. He gets on this like weird. There's like a tugboat, and then I don't know what that other thing was supposed to be. It had a flat top, and then it like had rooms underneath it, but it was floating on the water. I'm not sure what that was actually supposed to be. I don't know what that's used for in real life. I don't know what it was. But he jumps the dune buggy onto that, and as he does that, it jostles everything so much that the room underneath it, where the doctor was setting up the light blaster, it activated it, and it started like very slowly turning across the room. And while Eric Estrada's up top killing the 2 goons that are up there, the light blaster just goes very slowly and just kind of hits the doctor's watch, which of course has a LCD screen, and the doctor starts melting, and Eric Estrada looks down, sees the doctor melting, and just gets up, turns to walk away, and that's it. And somehow that's the end of Light Blast.
And the movie is over.
Yes.
See, okay. Let's talk about our... Okay, so when we first watched this 3 years ago, all the way back in the before times, I hate that term, in the before times in the year 2017, when Jeremy and I watched this, we got to the end, and it feels like the movie just crashes into a wall. I can't remember if we watched this or Haunted Ween first.
I think we saw this first. Haunted Ween was a while after that.
So, but in both of these movies, the movie just comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah,
like it's action, 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 action. Movie over.
Done.
Like, wait, it's just no, like there's no like denouement. There's no denouement. There's no like, oh well, we learned this. I mean, not that movies really need that, but it's like it's worse than The Guy from Harlem, where he goes and he beats up Big Daddy. And then, like, is he dead? Yeah, but mostly he ugly. And they have that weird kind of wrap-up scene that doesn't really wrap it. But at least The Guy from Harlem had that.
Yeah.
This Eric Estrada just looks down and he walks away across the nation of Hawal. That's... I don't know how many people are going to get that.
I don't either.
You're welcome, Connor. Anyway, Light Blast. It just ends. And we're like, what the heck? And then I'm so glad that Mike Nelson noticed that too. That it just ends. It's like, I guess that's the ending to Light Blast.
Yeah. They're like, somehow that's the end of the movie.
So anyway, you had an interesting observation. You said to me that this might, for you anyway, this might take your that this movie might supplant Suburban Sasquatch for your pick for Riff of the Year.
Yeah, and after watching it a few times,
I don't know about that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say that like critically, it's a better riff.
Yeah,
but personally, just
for
because
you, it means more to you.
Yes, exactly. And that kind of helps it in its ranking. Yeah. I'm going to have to watch both a few more times, but, you know.
I think for me, it definitely holds a special spot for me because I feel like I don't want to sound arrogant or quote unquote horse famous or the Brony reference or anything like that. You know, I'm not special. But I'm not a brony. Don't anybody out there think I am, because I am not. Just because I use the term horse famous. But I'm not anybody special, I don't think, at least not anymore. But I'd like to think that in some small but major way, I got them to do a riff that I suggested.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you did too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just like, but for me personally, like that's like something that like I've been really kind of like dreaming about them doing something that I had personally suggested to them.
Yeah. It's a
And
good feeling.
This is it. It's happened.
We're just like,
So
hey,
that's
I found this terrible movie.
Yeah. But
I was correct in my assertion that it would be good for RiffTrax.
But it's definitely very, very special. Riff of the year. I mean, it's a very, very good riff. Riff of the year, I still think at this point got to go to Suburban Sasquatch, but this is extremely special. That's my position.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed this. I've watched it a few times already. I actually watched it a couple times when it came out on Friday. I had the opportunity to do that because I was at home by myself, and that was how I spent my time. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm still almost in disbelief that it got riffed and released, and I watched it. Like, I still look at the poster and I'm just like, oh, I can't believe they actually did Light Blast. Like,
what if next week? Okay, here's the real kicker.
Oh God.
What if Friday, 2 days from now? Oh no, wait, today's Tuesday. What if Friday, 3 days from now, they're back new release and it's Carver's Gate?
Well, I would first have to yell at somebody about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be, I mean, it's not going to happen, but it would be amazing.
It would be amazing, yeah.
I think that would take the place of Light Blast in the same situation. Simply because I, campaigned a lot harder for Carver's Gate. But, Light Blast.
But Light Blast being the kind of movie it is,
yes,
is more suitable to the RiffTrax palette.
Yes,
because let's be honest about Carver's Gate, it is super weird.
It's extremely weird, guys. If you want to know what this movie is all about, this Carver's Gate, that's not going to happen.
It's got to be on YouTube. Yeah.
It is on Tubi to watch for free, and it is censored into a TV 14 version. So the boobs.
Well, then why even watch it?
The boobs will be gone. The sewer dwelling women boobs should probably be gone off of there. That would be my guess. They did. I watched like the first 3 minutes of it, and they did kind of put a darker shadow on Michael Paré's ass.
Oh God.
But yeah. It is on Tubi if you want to check it out and see just how weird it is.
Hashtag too weird for RiffTrax.
Oh, Dave, there's something that we forgot to mention.
What's that?
I would say yesterday, but this past Monday, July 20th, was RiffTrax's 14th birthday.
Happy birthday, RiffTrax!
14 years ago. And it's still weird when I think about this stuff, because we were talking about this right before we started the actual episode, about how old some of the live shows are.
And we were mentioning this because we were talking about how much better the re-riffs from Mystery Science Theater 3000 are. And I said that my memories of Manos, the Hands of Fate, like my memories from the MST3K version, have been completely supplanted and replaced by the RiffTrax live version, which took place in 2012.
He said it was 8 years ago, and I called him a liar.
And no, it's math. I know it. Look, I know it seems like the other day.
It must be that new math that nobody cares about.
I know it seems like just the other day to us. Because like the span of like 6 years, 2014, that doesn't mean anything anymore. It's not as impressive as it used to be. It's like 2014. I get messages things on my iPhone. This happened 6 years ago. Say what? Oh, right. Like 2014. Like that's just, I don't know, man. I turned 40 in December.
Yeah, it was only their 6th live show.
Yeah, now they've had
but-
how many? Like they've had 30, right? Like Giant
30,
Spider Invasion was number 30.
But yeah, 14 years. That's incredible to me. And I've only known about it since Jack the Giant Killer.
I've been around since Christmas 2008. That's my Rifferversary. And the first one I saw was The Dark Knight. And I know we've brought this up a few times, and I used to be against it, be like, no, RiffTrax needs to do what they want to do, which is true, but I would like to see a return to some, MP3 kind of deal. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, we've got a few more MP3s coming. Mortal Kombat, Gymkata, probably some more, I would imagine.
But in the meantime, we have some MP4s, VODs, as we say in the RiffTrax lingo.
Yeah.
What are
meantime,
What are the two movies that no one's ever heard of that we're going to make them vote on this week?
Dinosaurus and Kiss of the Tarantula.
Wow, that's gonna be a fight to the death right there.
If you head over to patreon.com/trueblueriffcast.
It's basically like Jurassic Park and some big spider movie. What's a big spider movie? Spider-Man. There we go. It's like Jurassic Park versus Spider-Man, right? Yeah, why not?
Not so much. Yeah, you can go vote on that there. You can find our fun little outtakes or updates on what's coming up on the show.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a few of those outtakes from this episode.
Yeah, potentially. You never know what might pop up in there. Welcome back from the edit, everybody.
That one was me.
You want to find out what Dave said, go to patreon.com/trueblueriffcast. Until then, I am Jeremy. You can send me emails, jeremy@trueblueriffcast.com. You can find me on Twitter @PBandAwesome. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter @TBRiffcast.
And I'm Dave, a.k.a. Sugar Ray Dodge. Check me out on the web at sugarraydodge.com. Send me emails at dave@trueblueriffcast.com.
And we will see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Rock till you die. You die alone and dream about rock till you die. Rock till you die.